with Kurt Angle wanting to face Charlotte, Flair, and Jake Hager wanting a fight against an MMA legend. This is Wrestling Up. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for July 5th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Up and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. NXT champion Karrion Kross has been indomitable on the black and gold brand as a main roster call-up seems all but guaranteed for the future. Someone that knows what it is like to hold NXT gold is Tommaso Ciampa, with him recently talking to Sportskeeda about how he is better than the current champion. I think I'm better than him, you know? I'll say that. And it's hard to say that, I guess, because he beat me in under 6 minutes. I think he beat me at a time where I wouldn't say I was easy to beat, but I wasn't at the top of my game. I came back from neck surgery. I chased after Goldie. Adam Cole beat me with Johnny Gargano's assistance, Gargano beat me with Candice's assistance, and I just think I needed a break in Kross. It just lined up right for him. I think over the last year and a half, I'm sure he's developed. I've watched some good showings, but I'm back to being me. And I think if the time ever does come up where we step in the ring together again, and it's Karrion Kross versus the Blackheart, the Psycho Killer, I just think it will be different. Kross is no stranger to facing Ciampa with them battling at TakeOver in Your House last year, as this match looks to be well on its way to happening. Speaking of NXT, another former champion, Adam Cole, recently spoke to TalkSport about a main roster call-up, saying there is so much to do on NXT. I find it so flattering that there are people that want to see Adam Cole on Raw or SmackDown so badly, but then there's another group that's like, no, I want him to stay on NXT. Right now, the possibilities of things to do on any of the three brands feels endless for me. It just feels exciting across the board, being able to stay on NXT even with the 403-day reign and being a Triple Crown winner and all that stuff. I've been with the brand for such a long time, and I've seen it grow so much that it's really fun to be a part of that process. I would love to win the NXT title again. I would love to face Samoa Joe. I would love the chance to wrestle Isaiah Swerve Scott. There's so many possibilities within that brand. Then of course with Raw or SmackDown, there's a bunch of talent that I haven't had the chance to wrestle yet that I would love to as well. So it's exciting, but there is definitely plenty for me to do on NXT yet. By no means am I biding my time or saying, okay, I'm just waiting any day now to go to Raw or SmackDown. I do not feel that way at all. That's not saying I don't want to go. Of course, the idea of getting to go up there and compete on those brands is very exciting to me, but I am not dragging my feet by any means, just waiting at all. I'm so proud of what our brand brings to the table. I love the roster, I love the crew, I love the show we bring week to week. I definitely am proud to be on NXT. Cole is set to face his former stablemate Kyle O'Reilly at the Great American Bash this week, with many thinking this could be his final match on NXT. A reported list of NXT stars included for a tryout were Karrion Kross, Bronson Reed, Shotzi Blackheart, and more, with Cole's name not listed. With that bit of news, it might be a little while before we see Cole as a superstar for Raw or SmackDown. Being undefeated in the Bellator MMA cage, Jake Hager is gunning for a fight against one of the all-time greats, former Pride Heavyweight Champion Fedor Emelianenko. Emelianenko recently announced that his next Bellator fight will be in Russia, as a few possible opponents were named. Of course, Hager's name was not among them, with him recently telling MMA Fighting about calling out Fedor. Just because I have a shorter career doesn't mean I'm not as worthy. I have a bigger following, I have more excitement behind me, and I have a brighter future than all those guys. So give it to me, Scott, because I'm the one that you're going to build this company on, not those guys that are just coming in for a one and done. I'm here for the next 10 years, let's go. I really honestly believe that this is my fight. It's been my fight since I came to Bellator. Who else do you want to see him fight in the top 10? Terrell Fortune? Give me a break. A topic that has come up in debates has been having an off-season in pro wrestling, much like other sports. On his 83 Weeks podcast, Eric Bischoff revealed why he is not a fan of this concept. First of all, I wouldn't vote for an off-season. One of the reasons that wrestling works as consistently as it has since the beginning of TV time is because it's 52 weeks a year and it tours. If you take 52 weeks out of the equation and now you take touring out of the equation, you're going to lose 60% of your audience over the course of 5 or 6 years. Yeah, but you lose your connection to the audience. wrestling, and here's the mistake that a lot of TV executives make, is they don't understand the audience. The wrestling audience becomes so familiar with these characters, they identify with them, they live vicariously through them. They're kind of, in their own entertainment way, addicted to them. If you take them off the air for 3, 4, or 5 months, they find other shit to do, and other things to be interested in. The secret sauce to pro wrestling is that it's 52 weeks a year. If you go down to 26 and you have to start your season over again, and you've lost that daily, weekly connection to your audience, and 6 months later you're going to come back with a new season, good freaking luck. Before coming over to AEW, Tay Conti had been a part of WWE, being a member of the NXT roster. Speaking to Renee Paquette, Conti mentioned her WWE tryout where she recalled Bayley yelling at her. "I remember more like Bayley because she was screaming at me all the time. Yes, that was crazy because honestly I had no idea what I was doing. I'll be 100% honest, no idea. But then because of my background I was like, that's a competition and I want to win. And then I was like, what am I winning? I don't even know. But like, it's a lot of people, it's a competition and I'm going to be the best." That was my mentality, and I didn't know any words in English, like I didn't know how to say hi back then, right? And I had to watch it first and then try to do it, and I'm like, oh my god, I have no idea what I'm doing. I had to be copying what other people were doing because I had no clue. But then that was fun. That was a great opportunity. I will never forget. And I remember Bayley, like every time I was doing the stance, she was like, ah, screaming in my face. She was motivating me, and I was like, hell yeah, I like this. Intergender matches are few and far between in WWE, especially these days. While this might be the case, Kurt Angle recently noted on his podcast that he would be open to not only facing Charlotte Flair, but would be willing to take a loss. Like this, I don't know, but would I put a woman over if I had to? Yes, I would. Especially someone like Chyna or, even Charlotte Flair. She had so much success, you can put her up against any man now, today. She is somebody I'd probably do a job for. Flair is set to face Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's title at Money in the Bank, with fans not happy seeing her yet again in the title picture. Speaking of Angle, on his podcast, he touched on the NWO coming over to WWE, saying Vince McMahon got revenge on Hulk Hogan and company by forcing them to do pre-tapes all night. I remember when NWO came back to WWE and Vince had them all night doing pre-tapes because they would say what they wanted to say. And Vince was like, no, you're going to say what I tell you to say. And they kept doing it all night. And Vince was also trying to teach them a lesson about, leaving them high and dry in the 90s and going to WCW. I think there was a little bit of a message of, I'm going to get you back for this. You're going to be doing pre-tapes all night, and they did. They went until like 5 in the morning. So Vince is a perfectionist. He wants it done right. For Wrestling Shoot interviews, former WWE referee Mike Chioda spoke about an incident from 2005 where WWE stayed in the same hotel as kickboxers in Manchester, with the likes of Chris Benoit and Batista fighting. Somebody said something to somebody and they cleared away, and the next thing you know, a big fight broke out. Everybody was running off the bus, we were all fighting, dudes just throwing around, and it was a good old time there. It was Batista in that brawl, Benoit was in that brawl. Everybody was just all over the place because it was a good amount of guys. It was about 20-something guys, kickboxers, and there was about 20-something of us. With her recently making a return to WWE, Zelina Vega has been a hot topic for many that cover wrestling. She took a shot at someone writing about her, tweeting actual footage of dirt sheet writers trying to think of the next lie to post about me. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer took offense to this, with him calling her stupid and saying he has no respect for Vega after she referred to wrestling reporters as dirt sheet writers. Vega has now responded in kind, writing, "Hey Dave, instead of name calling, I'll ask you to please point to where I said all dirt sheet writers in that tweet, or would that make your aggressive and nonsensical argument invalid? You can keep your quote-unquote respect, as I lost mine for you when you started tearing down and degrading women in the business for no reason. I wasn't referring to you, but if you think the shoe fits, that's on you." Meltzer would later reply, "You should point out who lied and the specifics of the lie, rather than a blanket statement and group people in one category. I explained that in detail how horrible it would be to say something bad about quote-unquote wrestlers that only applied to a small percentage of them. While it's not clear what Zelina was referencing in that original tweet, it has certainly got Meltzer riled up." And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.